I'm doing healing for Jordan Peterson today. I'm going to put on my special eyes here and navigate the energy patterns around what he's struggling with. I got the latest update and I'm here to offer my support and see what I can do to alleviate pain and suffering and provide some reflection and understanding about what I'm coming across in my own way. So you take away all the material and what's left, energy. And the more you adapt to interpreting energy patterns, the more that you can interact with those patterns and change things. And so pain and suffering is a radio station. And what is it saying? And how can you add love to that radio station to change the song, to change the tune? And can this make an impact? Yes. Yes, it can. It can make an impact mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Everything can be impacted. Caring, love, connection, harmony, right? It makes the world a brighter, happier, more uplifted place in your body and in the world. And so I'm going to put my eyes on, special eyes, and I'm going to block out all the light. I'm going to tell you what I see and experience when I connect to Jordan Peterson to see what I can do to help. The first thing I tell him is, you do want visitors. He's asking you to stay on the other side of that door. As I approach him, I say, you do want visitors. Perhaps it depends upon the type of visitor. His energy looks like, the Etch-a-Sketch where you can do lines that go like up, down, right, left, but they're all straight, right? And so you could create staircases and things. And so his energy looks like lines that are kind of etch-a-sketched in every direction. And there's this big cloud of smoke. And this energy is asking to please stay on the other side of that door, please. I snap my fingers and I take away all these etch-a-sketch lines. And I take away this black smoke. I bring the presence of family, familiar faces, and love. It's refreshing for him, for sure. It's not people outside the door like me. It's people inside the door. It's just hard to expose yourself. It's hard to be seen like this. It's hard to even see yourself like this. But if family sees you like this, that's manageable. How do you fix this? How do you solve this problem? Everything is so simple, right? Here's the problem. Here's how do you fix it. Put the work, the time, the energy in. Done. This doesn't get to be simple. This is about experience. So if you just fix this problem, then the problem doesn't exist. So where was the experience? The experience is cruel. The experience sucks. There's something of power that happens when you settle into the experience. There's something unimaginably powerful about that. And I see the strength it takes to be a woman and to go through pregnancy and to give birth. You have to settle into that experience. You don't get to just solve the problem because there is no problem. It's the process of life. It's the process of living. It's the experience. It's the learning, is the gift. Not the cruelty, but embrace the moment. We're still just skimming the surface here. I still feel like this is way too convenient. It's way too convenient. I also feel like there's barriers between inhaling and exhaling completely. The comfort and the love. Just sitting at the sort of etch a sketch pattern reality. It's just meditation reality. Meditation reality. It's not even easy for me to make the connection here because the energy's pushing, pushing, pushing like the big bad wolf to blow your house in. It's just pushing away, pushing me away, pushing away actual authentic love that comes from strangers, really. Perfect stranger, but I'm still a part of the world and I can still love and I can still help. I want to put language to some of the experience because I know I can create a revolving door here from this initial introduction to something a little bit more deeply explorative. But I'm somewhere in between the big bad wolf pushing away and the ability to actually receive the solution is in like you're gonna have to somehow sit into the britches of this moment. Is oftentimes when things get ridiculously painful and hard, we're like tense and we're trying to run away from it, but you'll never run away from this one. You can't be tense. You can't try to run away from anywhere inside yourself. You have to actually relax into this and just let it be this bad. Because you can't do anything else right now. But what's interesting is the more that we embrace the pain, even the intolerable pain, the more we teach ourselves how to navigate it, not by trying to numb it, but by trying to embrace it, embracing the pain. What crappy advice, and yet what brilliant advice. Because the mother who gives birth that hates this entire experience and doesn't want to embrace the pain is going to have a much harder time than the one that says, I'm going to keep focusing on breathing. I'm going to keep focusing on this beautiful process that is transforming me and my body and my life. And it's giving me a graduation from one level of my identity to the next level of my identity. So this is the same thing. This is transformation. This is leveling up. It's like the cold, hard truth. I will say, I want to get to that revolving door, so I will get to this revolving door. And I'm just going to move straight through all this pushback. I'm going to be a perfect stranger, and then I'm just going to give you a hug. Just a perfect stranger, just giving you a hug. And now what am I looking at? Because I haven't even gotten into the predicament here. It seems to begin with this, and this isn't even that deep. I haven't even gotten to touch the real problem yet. But this is the starting point. This is chapter 1. This is what I step into first. I can't get ahead of schedule yet. I just have to do the first thing. Okay. All right. It's like a telephone pole. It's just like a rigid, it's not flexible at all. It's just rigid. It doesn't even want to talk about it. It makes me think of a spinal column. It's a spine that was once flexible, but now it's become rigid, like a telephone pole. Then it's straight and narrow. It doesn't bend one way or another. It's in place for the long haul. And this structure starts to look like, well, it doesn't really look like a city building, but it behaves kind of like one. Maybe a lighthouse, but it doesn't say that it necessarily is illuminating. It just seems to have a solid base, and it is very tall as well. And you can climb some stairs, you can exist inside of this structure, you could even be this structure. You could be seen from a great distance. I'm starting to understand what the avoidance, the resistance here is. Fragile. Being a solid structure and then being a fragile structure. And the ultimate question is, are you fragile? Are you breaking? Where's your foundation? It's interesting because the fragile conversation, it doesn't seem to make sense because the structure is so strong. It's very, very hard to see the structure collapse. So inside yourself, it's hard for you to just collapse. You aren't ever going to just collapse. And so you build a very strong foundation, you build a very strong structure, and you will maintain that structure no matter what happens. But it seems like you've caught the flu, so to speak. You've caught an influence that is trying to kind of rust the beautiful vehicle. It's just like eating away at once what was once pristine and strong is starting to show signs that it is fragile, that it is breakable. It's interesting because every time I talk about the fragile side, the energy bounces back and shows me that no, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. Keeps showing me that. But it's not as if I don't believe that you're strong, that I don't believe that you could be fragile too. It's almost like this wall needs to be, we need to move through this wall a bit. It's an insecurity, believe it or not. It's an insecurity to be so possessive of how strong of a person you are. It's a strange thing to say, but basically it's like if you're going to be a very strong structure, well, you darn well better uphold it, right? So you got to uphold it by being a bit possessive of it. Like, I'm firm in this, I'm strong, and nothing's going to break me down. But on this energetic side of things, it's not necessarily defined as, I believe you, you're stronger. Well, you could be fragile. I think we could both agree that sometimes that happens. It's not about strong or fragile. It's about something else, even deeper than all of this. It's some kind of insecurity. It's weird. The picture that comes to me about it, there's a heart, and you can see inside the heart, there's like a metal spherical ball. And this ball turns in every single direction. But then I see something even stranger, like tweezers that are trying to pull this ball out of the heart. And so the heart creates openings in order for this to be extracted. But the whole thing is just painful. And then the question of what's the metal ball about anyway? How did it get there? Why does it have to be removed? Does it have to be? Okay, what happens when it is removed? But the entire thing is just very, very painful. Another thing about this, as I'm looking at the strange picture, I get this air that it's almost like you're slowing down enough Dr. Peterson, you're slowing down enough to actually catch up with your life and yourself. And in a way, maybe the greatest insecurity is slowing down enough to catch up with your life and yourself. Because it's just almost like very hard to adapt to time and goals and vision and everything you want to do with this life, and to know that at some point it does it have to slow down? Does it have to come to a stop? What if I don't want to? This is such a vulnerable conversation. It's almost impossible. And yet it's happening a little tiny little bit. And you just want everybody to just stay on the other side of that door. I think there's an answer to the riddle here. That that you're learning something profound about yourself and your life and the meaning of this time, the meaning of family, the meaning of perfect strangers, the meaning of love, the meaning of something deeper. And the meaning of something deeper, it could be an anomaly that doesn't really have the book written about it. There's no real way to explain it. It's a deeper truth that exists even if you can't wrap your head around it. You don't have to use your head to know it in your heart. And there might not be any words either. And maybe that's something spiritual, perhaps. You still really, there's so much tension here at the heart. There's just so much tension here. Like, even like seizing up here. So I just working on relaxing, but it's not very easy. I'm going to create another version of you that, this picture came up recently and I've been reflecting on it a lot. And so I'm going to see you as part of this picture. It's like an Asian sort of a rock garden, and you have these solid stones, and then you have these like lines drawn around these stones, and then you can look at it and there's something interesting in what it all means. And maybe it means nothing, maybe it means everything. But what I find interesting about the picture is being the solid stone is like put together, it's timeless, it's patient. And these rings that are around it, it's almost like the energy that goes in and then comes out. So the stone exists, the stone provides, the stone is a part of the world. And there's something in comparison here to you adapting to something so ridiculously peaceful and so ridiculously still. Somehow this picture to relax this heart, relax this pressure here. Just let yourself be a strange rock outlined by lines and a sandy rock garden and some Asian picture. It's boring and beautiful and transformative and profound. It doesn't, what does it mean? What does it mean? Embrace this abstract truth. It can mean everything. Still kind of like a deflecting. I ask you, why are you deflecting? I snap my fingers and I just say, relax. And it's not a recommendation. I just choose to see the version of you that is relaxed. The version of you is that is this sacred stone. A version of you that is letting people in. The version of you that is safe to go through this very difficult experience. And the problem to be solved begins with relaxation, begins with the personal power that's a little different, begins with catching up with yourself and everything this has been about. And perhaps the journey is going to mean something a little different than it meant before. It doesn't mean that this is the end. This means that this is a new beginning of understanding the meaning of life. It just seemed, you basically are saying that I'm conveniently talking to you. I'm saying convenient things. Okay. So right now I'm showing you that I'm just conveniently silent. And maybe the most powerful thing I could say is just silent. Will you know what I'm saying if I say nothing? You're not resisting or not saying anything either. You're silent, and I'm silent. We're behaving like two stones in the rock garden. So I'm going to say some stuff because some stuff is happening. The silent part was pretty nice. The silent part was helpful. And when I got to look in, when your energy and my energy were just both silent, I just, maybe this is going to be bothersome again, but basically, where you digest the meaning of life, you digest your memories, you digest your identity, you digest the system. It's digestion. It's not just, we don't just eat food and then we swallow it and then the body digests it. We digest emotions, butterflies in the stomach. We digest our memories. We digest everything here. It's not just all here in the mind, it's here in the body too, in different places. Like you really experience it. And when I look here at the solar plexus chakra, that's a name given to it. It's like a space. It's like a drawer in this dresser of yourself. And so you open that drawer, and I see almost like so much stuff stuffed into this space. And so I'm just moving things out, and just moving it all over the place. And when I move it out, there's all these lines that are connected to all these random things, and the lines connect here somewhere inside. And it seems to be like kind of an empty space now, like an empty drawer with like kites on strings, but it's just random stuff on strings that are just, the strings are kind of coming out of the drawer that is now empty. And I reach my hand into this space as I described, but I'm pulling something out that is unseen. It's really crazy looking because it looks like a frog and a human, and it's very small. It's like if a human had the shape of a frog body. And it shows me that it's just sitting there, much like a frog would, in a dark place. Everything about the air is dark and the ground is dark, but it's just sitting there as peaceful as ever. And I find myself, once I pull this out, I like crawl into this space. And when I crawl into this here at the digestion, I come into the back of your head. And there's something important here about a creative connection is just connecting the frequency of love because love is everything. It's every single thing. It's random, abstract, logical, ugly, beautiful, cruel. It's every single thing. And I noticed that when I just like correct some wires back here is the best way I could describe it. It's really simple, but there's a light that turns on in the heart, and the heart's changing. It's dynamic. I will say that again, this is not just, oh, I can go in and make this better. This is actually showing me there's a lot of layers to this whole thing. And so I can't, it takes time to organize stuff. It takes time to navigate what's this thing, what's that thing. And then it reflects, and then we navigate through that reflection. And then I explore how you're doing in the process. And so you just saying convenient things, okay, let's work with that. No, maybe I am. Maybe just be silent. Maybe conveniently silent is a better convenient thing. And so I'm silent again because it seems like you need breaks. Not necessarily convinced you're not going to see this through and find health and wellness again. I think you're going to be a different person for sure. Not the same old familiar self. You're going to be a different kind of self. Are you okay with that? In fact, you should see this as a gift and a blessing. Sometimes I wonder if like life is the abuser, and why should I find this abuser to be gifting me, blessing me with abuse, like me, the victim of life or something. But it's really strange because you could say there's no abuser, there's no victim so much as there's only life as the wise teacher. And so, if we are blessed by the wise teacher to go through these tragedies, we need to understand the magic in the experience. That you need to start seeing the magic in the experience. This is not cruel fate. In fact, it's more like, what makes Deadpool? Like if you watch the movie, what makes Deadpool is unbearable torture and pain and suffering processes, creates an immortal man. So this pain and this suffering is making you strong, stronger than you've ever known. And so when I go into this fragile or this strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong, what are you trying to prove to me? Obviously, you're strong, but there's something else, some insecurity. And this needs to come from the heart. This is your place of power, your place of truth, your soul, not your man, this guy, this person, this body. This is like the power of you. This is your spirit. This is your power. This could be the ultimate doorway, the one you've been seeking your entire life. So the more that you get in that gut, in that digestion, that's when things get real and what life is really all about. Or you can find your answer. So let yourself like step into some Rambo here. Like you already know you're strong. Everybody knows you're strong. You know you're strong. This is beyond human now. This is beyond body. This is beyond that. This is like your powerful soul. This is you breaking barriers. This is you reaching one ceiling, breaking that ceiling to discover the next level of yourself in this life. And so wake up to that. Perfect stranger comes to give you a hug. Are you going to let him in? I'm just in the energy world, and so are you, and so is everybody. We get the material part of this so we can see things in a human way. But you take away all that material, and what does it look like? Nothing. But what is the presence of it? Something. That's how you will find your soul. Okay. So there we have it. I will tell you, Dr. Peterson, that the start of this experience, even before I did this video, it really felt, I asked myself if I would. And something said, yes, I want to do this. But I felt like you didn't want this. And then I wondered if I should do this for someone who doesn't want this. But something says, sometimes you just got to do something. And from the start, there's been this resistance. But what's interesting, as we move through the resistance, there is this deeper understanding blossoming that never came from the mind. It's coming from other parts of your body. You could look at your predicament in some medical way, but you really should look at your predicament as you going through an incredible growth and development, almost like an ascended man, okay? Like the human man and the human mind and the human, but it's almost like a divine man. Like you're becoming a divine man on earth. And that to embrace this, not that life is the abuser or circumstances, the domino effect, right, created the victim of life, the abuser or something. It's actually the miracle of life, the master teacher that is guiding you to discovering the most profound version of yourself that you have yet to meet. And don't resist it, because you're literally giving birth to yourself right now. It's a weird thing to say, but that's literally, in some essence, what's happening. It takes great courage to endure that kind of pain and suffering. Just see yourself kind of like Deadpool, the immortal man who went through all of that to gain these great gifts, right? But you're far more open now, and you're far more there on the path to where you actually want to be, not in your mind, but in your heart and in your gut. You're opening up, and it seems to me, I'm just going to say this based on my perspective, that the more you try to connect with the logic, connect the dots with logic, you're holding on to that human nature, which is fine and it's normal. But it's almost like when you do meditation, there could be no logic to just sitting there in silence. And yet it's the one thing that awakens everything inside yourself. But who would ever recommend it? You can't prescribe meditation. And yet, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you figure it out? Why wouldn't you just try? Why wouldn't you discover your soul, as the ultimate medicine in the midst of all this? I wouldn't worry about the past and decisions that were made to help you cope and help you survive, and now regrettable decisions because they've had these repercussions later on in life. I would not attach yourself to thinking like that. You need to listen to your heart, because you know there's more to life than just these convenient, logical truths. So thank you for opening up there at the end, because in some way, perhaps it was convenient, but maybe you weren't ready for the deeper message, and that's why. Maybe it starts with silence, embrace, gratitude, growth. I'm not convinced this is the end for you. I'm not convinced it is. I'm actually convinced that you are growing through. This is a growing pain. And there is a part of you that you really want to meet still in this life, and that you will meet this part of you. And that's what I see. So thank you for being open to this inside yourself, because you may never even watch this, but I'm still talking to you. Thank you to the family as well. It's strange to be a part of the lives of others that I don't directly know, but indirectly know. But we are all family anyway, you know? And I really want peace and happiness for all of you. So that's what I've got. Thank you all so much for watching. If there's anything I can do for you in your life, if you need me to take a look at the energy patterns and share some wisdom and reflection and empowerment, just book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Have an awesome day, everyone.